If you thought owning a beachfront vacation property was out of your reach, you're going to want to watch this video till the very end. You're about to meet two teachers from Florida who did what most people only dream of. Not only did they get the vacation property of their dreams in a beachfront luxury resort, but they also set it up as a part-time vacation rental so that it's self-funding. That means when they're not using it, other people are paying those pesky monthly fees. Want to learn more? Stay tuned. Welcome to the Panama Podcast, From Dreaming to Doing. I'm your host, Melissa Darnay, an American who's been living her someday, every day since 2012. Get ready for a weekly dose of Panama sunshine and inspiration, from hilarious expat adventures to insider tips on living, investing, and having a blast in Panama. Curious to learn more? Go to choosepanama.com and snag your free copy of Panama Uncorked. With me today is Nancy and Kendall Griner from Florida. They've had their vacation home in the same building as I am for about 1 year now. I'm so excited to talk to you about so many different things, but let's get started with the question I ask everyone. What brought you to Panama?
What really started this, I think, is I used to live in Nicaragua for about 1.5 years, and I was teaching online, just kind of enjoying the beach life, just working and playing, and fell in love with the culture, the people, and of course, the cost of living was amazing. I did a little research here and there to find out where maybe down the road we'd want to go. My wife just kind of starts investigating, and she just did tons and tons of research.
Nancy and Kendall, if you don't mind, I want to get a little bit personal. I know that you're both teachers, and most people, when they think about the demographic of teachers, they don't think that you're really the demographic that buys vacation homes on the beach. So I'm so excited to hear about how you were able to invest in a vacation home, in a second home in Panama as teachers. Do you mind sharing that journey with us?
We've had some luck in the last probably 6-8 years with real estate. We've had a few houses and we've made some money. The market was great to us. We've done a lot of side hustles to help create extra income and stuff, and then just kept kind of adding to that with personal savings that we've created over the last few years, and found something that was very affordable based off what we think of as a vacation home in the States.
That's amazing. The prices here are a lot less expensive. Your apartment's about 1,650 square feet. Beautiful 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And then you decorated it very nicely. Let's talk about the decorating. When you came, you bought it. I know that you hated the furniture. So you basically, what did you do with the furniture that was in it?
We did not like the furniture. It wasn't our taste at all. I had done a little bit of research and found Deja Vu. It's a consignment shop in Panama City. Took pictures, sent it to them. It was a really easy process. They actually came and picked everything up, took it back to the shop. They sold it probably within, I'd say, a month or so. I think we made around $2,000 on furniture we were just going to give away, which was a nice surprise. And then we turned around and used that money to do a little more modern, contemporary coastal decorating.
I'm going to put a link to their apartment because it is available on Airbnb and other rental platforms. So if anyone's interested in seeing their apartment or renting it, it will be available.
Feel free.
We have to support our teachers after all. When you bought this apartment, you found a great deal, you love the location, and then you bought it to be your retirement home?
Yeah, it was not, we never thought of it being as an investment, at least not. We thought it was an investment in our future. We would have a place in a few years to actually come and live. Never thought much about trying to do anything with it while we were in the process of getting here. And then when you guys kind of said, hey, we can put this on the rental market, we're like, wow, let's please do that. And it's been very simple, very easy, and thank you for making us some money.
We always like to hear that, thank you. Because we are professional managers, we do know how to make the apartments cash flow positive for you. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about side hustles for a minute. You brought that up earlier. When you move here full time, do you see yourself doing some sort of side hustle?
Possibly. I have a travel agency, so I book trips for clients, family, and friends.
What's the name of it?
38 Travel.
I've been teaching online with a group out of the state of Alabama because I used to live in Alabama way back when. and I've been with them since 2000 and probably 7 or 8.
What do you teach?
I've taught everything from 6th grade math all the way up to Algebra 2 and statistics.
Do you live on the beach in Florida?
We do. We live about 4 or 5 miles from the beach.
Tell me how it's different to live on the beach in Florida versus the beach in Panama.
Where we live, we aren't around a big city at all. We don't have the restaurants, the culture, the shopping, the nightlife. We're in a very sleepy town of probably about 30,000 people. So it's much bigger, better here.
Here you have the joys of Panama City with all the restaurants and the nightlife and the shopping. Have you been enjoying that?
Very much so. It's very nice being from a town that doesn't have a lot of nightlife other than just restaurants and kind of local shopping and bars. It's nice to go see something big. You get to see the tall towers. You get to just experience more than what we're used to.
We really have enjoyed the rooftop bars and restaurants too. We don't have anything like that in Florida.
Yeah, the rooftop bars like in Casco Viejo and in downtown Panama City are so fun because right as the sun is going down, there's a nice breeze, there's that ocean view. It really is this cool vibe that you don't get in many places around the world. Let's go back to why you chose Panama. You said you lived in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Why didn't you choose Nicaragua as a place to have a vacation home?
There is not a lot there other than just you're in the bigger city, which is not quite like Panama City at all. Then there's the beach towns, but there's not anything there. There's not a lot of larger culture. It's just very small, quiet, just localized everything. And this gave us the opportunity to be not only sleepy time at the beach, but we were able to go into the city and really get into some nightlife and have some more fun with it.
That is one of the very special things about the Playa Bonita area is we do have a very small private beach. It's very quiet, very exclusive, very protected, but then you're only about 10, 15 minutes from the heart of the city where everything is going on all the time. What has been your biggest challenge in moving to Panama?
We aren't living here full time yet, so we don't have, I guess, all of our things that maybe we would like to bring. We're kind of bringing things down in boxes on the airplane with us every time we come down. But I wouldn't say we've really had many challenges. It's been very easy. We had an awesome attorney that we used that kind of guided us through the whole process. And I don't think we've had a lot of bumps in the road, really.
Ours has been simple. Very, very little headache.
I love hearing that. Do you foresee a time in the future when you will live in Panama full time?
It depends on which one of us you ask.
Okay, Kendall.
I love to live here right now.
We would both love to move right now, maybe not even go back home. We do have a couple children still in high school, so we have to get them graduated and out and gone to college.
Parenting duties.
Yes, unfortunately. We would love to say 2, maybe 3 years. They would be off on their own, kind of doing their thing. And we would have that opportunity to come down here. We could still work online, do whatever we needed to do, but then we could start to de-stress and start to enjoy ourselves.
Right now you're using this part-time as a vacation home and part-time as an Airbnb to pay for your costs?
Yeah, it's starting to work out for us.
This is one of the few areas that you can do Airbnb on a short-term basis. In Panama City, there's a law where you can't rent for under 45 days. So again, we're very blessed in the Playa Bonita area. What do your kids think about your plan to move to Panama one day full time?
It seems like they're really on board with it. Most of them have been down here. They've come down to see the place. They've stayed with us over the breaks and stuff, and they've actually kind of fallen in love with it themselves. They know that it's always an opportunity for them to come and see us if they want to. It's just a little plane ride away. It's no different than if they flew from where we live in the States to California. It's the same flight time. So for them to come down, it's not a big deal. You're still here, you get here in a day. They love the culture. A couple of our kids are completely fluent in Spanish, so they come down and they become our mouths when we go into town and need to speak to people and stuff and make specific details. They want the place as much as we do.
They're already planning to bring all their friends when they graduate.
I want to talk about the difference between Panama and Florida a little bit more, because so many people, when they think of retiring or having a beach home, they think of Florida. So how is it different weather-wise and cost of living wise?
The area we live in is very susceptible to hurricanes. So that is one reason we wanted to leave Florida and come to Panama, since we're under that hurricane belt. We constantly worry about hurricanes where we are.
Can we talk about the cost of insurance for
Yes.
living in a hurricane belt?
Yes, the cost of insurance continues to rise every year. I think in the last year, our insurance went up probably $2,000 just in the last year.
$2,000 for the year?
Yeah.
Additional.
Went up 2,000 extra.
Can we ask how much you pay on a yearly basis?
It is probably around $4,000, $4,500.
A year?
Yeah.
Just for hurricane insurance?
Yes.
That doesn't include your fire structure content?
Correct.
If you put all those insurances together, do you have an idea of what that is?
For our home, I would say probably around 8,000.
Comparable insurance here, because we don't have hurricanes, is about $500 a year.
Just paid for it last month, and it was $640 for the total combined everything.
Did that make you happy to pay it?
Oh, it was simple. Paying for the insurance, paying for everything we've had to pay through here. We've been able to do everything online. It has been very simple. Just log in and it's done. So much simpler than having to deal with the agents back home.
That's interesting, because you always think in the US things are going to be so much simpler technology-wise, so I'm very happy to hear that. We've talked about a few of the differences between Florida and Panama, but I really want to delve into the weather. You know, in Panama, it's pretty much the same weather all year long. The only difference is half the year it rains and half the year it doesn't. How is the weather where you're from in Florida compared to Panama?
We still get times of the year during probably late December and January where it's in the low to mid 30s or maybe even high 20s and stuff. So we still have down coats and stuff to wear when it's cold. We have to have a much bigger closet, I guess you could say.
And if it's in the 20s, then that's freezing.
Oh, it's
Sometimes.
for people in Florida, that's really cold.
How about things like gardening? So if it's freezing, then your plants are dying, you're covering them.
Yeah, occasionally you will have to go out and throw a blanket over some your bushes if they're nicer ones and stuff like that. Some people do still go out during certain times of the winter and cover their water spigot.
I want to touch on one other cost of living issue between Panama and Florida, and that is property taxes. What are your property taxes like right now in Florida?
Thousands. I'm not sure of an exact number, I know, but it's probably in the range of 4,000 or 5,000.
One of the benefits of being in Panama is there's a lot of buildings that have property tax exemptions. For example, this building that we're in is property tax exempt until 2032. So you've got about another 9 years before you have to pay a very small property tax. While we're doing a comparison of Florida and Panama, let's talk about the difference in the cost of living. Can you give me a few examples outside of property taxes and insurance?
I think the biggest one that we notice is going out to restaurant. We just had an excellent steak dinner at the Westin the other night, and I think the filet was $28. We went out for dinner in Florida to a comparable dinner like that. It would at least probably be $75 a person.
Another interesting savings in Panama is you tip 10% instead of 15 or 20%. So that's another 5 to 10% savings. Let's talk about restaurants. I know, like me, you're foodies. What are some of your favorite restaurants and favorite food experiences since you've been here?
My favorite, hands down, is Azahar. Great atmosphere. There was a DJ, a strolling electric violin, excellent atmosphere, that speakeasy entrance through a flower shop. It was really awesome. We loved it.
I'll put a link to Azahar. I've done a blog on them. I'll put a link in the description below. So if you haven't heard of it, you can make sure and put that on your must-try list. Tell me about another restaurant or two you've been to and why you've liked it.
We just went to one the other night. It's called Frank's Place.
I love that restaurant.
I figured you would. It's an Italian restaurant. It's very beautiful inside. We walk in, they put us in a table, and immediately the sommelier maitre d' comes to us and just begins to entertain our table, talking to us like he's known us for years. So they made it very welcoming. They have music throughout the weekends, on the evenings and stuff. Food was amazing.
Yeah, and the average, what I like about that restaurant, not only is it beautiful, not only do they also have a little speakeasy portion where you can have private events, but also their entrees range from about $10 to $15 an entree. It's amazing how inexpensive it is to eat there. What do you think about grocery shopping or food shopping? Have you been to any of the fish markets or local produce markets?
Just went to one of the fish markets this morning, and it's kind of what you would expect. They're just bringing the fish in right off the boat. What do you want? They weigh it for you, hand it to a guy in the back. He fillets it for you, gets it ready, and you're out the door. Very cheap, very fast, very entertaining.
What fish did you buy?
Today we got robalo.
What is robalo?
Someone told me it was similar to a snook.
Remember what you paid per pound?
I believe it was about $2.25 per pound.
And the shrimp.
Then we got shrimp as well. That was a little more, but jumbo shrimp, they were easily 6 to 7, 8 inches long.
We did get a chance to go to the San Felipe produce market a couple days ago, and everything is bundled by $1 quantities. Best fruit and vegetables I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It was wonderful.
It was very, very friendly. The people were very attentive to us with any questions, anything we wanted. It was very simple. No, really was not a big language barrier. It's very easy to kind of get your point across, whether you're pointing, knowing some of your basic vocabulary and stuff. And the prices are amazing for what you're getting.
I find it amazing how big the produce is. I've never seen produce this big in my whole life.
I totally agree.
The avocados here are like melons. What has been the best part about this move to Panama?
No stress. The biggest stress we've had is deciding where we were going to go eat dinner or what we were going to cook tonight.
That's really amazing to hear. A lot of people, when they think of moving to a foreign country, they're so overwhelmed with all the 1,000 details. And I don't speak Spanish, and I don't know this, and I don't know that. And to hear you say that there's no stress, that's really amazing. Why do you think that is? You're not fluent in Spanish.
No, I know enough to get by.
When you purchased the apartment, did you buy it in your own personal names? Or did you put it in a corporation or a foundation?
We did decide to put it in a foundation. We have 5 children, and we just were told that that would be the best way once we pass away for them to avoid probate.
And was that really easy for you to set up?
Very easy. It was a trip to the attorney's office.
A few emails, a few uploads of some documents, and that was really all there was to it. It was not bad.
Obviously, we're all going to die. So then when that happens for you, it automatically flows through to your heirs, so you won't have to think about it. You've had this seamless transition to Panama. How do you spend a typical day here?
Depends on which one of us is in charge of that day.
Okay, Kendall, how do you spend your day?
I would love a day of just waking up, make some coffee, sit out on the balcony, look at the ships that we can see right now out in the ocean waiting to come in the canal, and just kind of wake up and just hang out for a little while. The pool is amazing. The view is amazing. It's just peaceful, relaxing, the gym, whatever we want to do, and then kind of get ready for the evening and decide, are we cooking or going out?
Have you used the free app Marine Traffic to see which ship you're actually watching?
Yes, we have, and it's very entertaining to see some of the company names, especially of the cruise ships we see coming through, because they look familiar. Then you pull it up and look at it, and it's not the company you're thinking of. But then you can pull up that company, pull up that ship, pull up its itinerary, and watch where it's been and watch where it's going. And some of the itineraries we've seen are amazing.
This is social media for adults, because you're watching the ships and then all of a sudden 2 hours have gone by.
If the day were up to me, I would be planning a day in the city, doing things, shopping, and going to a restaurant.
What are some of the benefits of being in this part of Panama?
For us, because we love to travel, I mean, we've already over 42 countries, 5 continents. I mean, we like to see the world. In this area, there's a lot that we have never seen in South America. We would love to go see, and the airlines here are very easy. They're actually very cheap to get to places in South America. So this would be a good hop-off place for us to go start to see more of the world that we haven't seen yet.
Copa Airlines is a hub from Panama City. So from Panama, you can go almost anywhere, not only in the United States, but in Latin America very easily with direct flights. Nancy and Kendall, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Panama Podcast. See you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.